Welcome to AP Plus Podcast. I'm Phil. I'm here with Anto and Elliot, as always.
Whoop, whoop. What's up?
Today we're going to be space balling it. Right? First thing.
Let's go to space, baby.
Yeah. Out into the far reaches, the cold
New
depths.
news, baby. Science.
Exactly. This is beyond the Kepler belt. Or
What is the Kepler belt?
the Kepler belt.
I actually don't know. I'm not being like, hey, Phil,
Oh.
why don't you tell me why don't you tell us in the
Kepler
audience what
belt
Kepler belt
is-
I actually don't know.
It's
To
it's like it's the ring. It's like the ring of like asteroids and stuff. Almost at the end. There's
like,
the
like
dome.
a second asteroid belt that's farther out.
So there's the asteroid belt
is
that's
this
in
the Oort cloud?
It's near the Oort cloud.
Okay, but it's not
but it's not. I don't believe it's the Oort cloud.
All right.
So it's very far out. It's beyond. It's like it's what Pluto's in. It's the Kepler belt.
Okay.
So the Pluto, all those other dwarf planets that are out there that make up that far one, that's the Kepler belt.
So
So
it goes Kepler first, then Oort,
The Oort cloud.
then no. I'm sorry. Asteroid belt, Kepler.
Because asteroid belt's in between, I believe, Mars and Jupiter. So there's the asteroid belt there, and then there's the Kepler belt at the end, which includes a lot of dwarf planets.
So it's actually a grouping of the planets. That's really
But it's like a ring.
Yeah.
So Plutoids. It's full of Plutoids.
Oh, so it is full of lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it's right after Neptune. That is where essentially.
Okay, that's where it starts. Yeah,
Essentially
and it
where
reaches
Kepler
out to
belt-
where Pluto is.
Yeah.
We just hit this question with the internet, guys.
Yeah,
we're
we
looking at a
cheated.
picture. I know.
But anyway, so that we found. So there's a.
So yeah. So the new news. Back to the real news.
This isn't. Yeah, real news. This isn't like hard science yet. However, this is what the data is suggesting, and that is that there's a new planet. It's a cold ice planet, and it's about the size somewhere between Earth and Neptune or Uranus or one of those two. They're pretty similar in size, so it's right in there. But it's just so far out. Like it's for a year around our sun, it takes 15,000 years. Or for one rotation, it takes 15,000 years to go around.
So
our sun.
long,
It's
dude.
crazy long. It's so ridiculous. I think like Jupiter's like 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
So you can see like the difference. Like it's absurd.
I wonder how they measured that. Do you think that they looked at just a small distance of it moving and then they calculated out that this would go around our sun? So just from a small distance,
I think there might
take
be a
a
couple
radius.
ways they can kind of like throw at
I mean, it's definitely just simple mathematics.
Yeah, there's also
Yeah.
if they can get a mass estimate, and it's like they know how far it is, they can probably get an idea of like what it would take for it to orbit at that distance.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because I think there's orbit velocities. Like if you exceed it, you break orbit. And if you go under it, you lose orbit. Like you fall in, So I think just by knowing kind of like how far away it is,
There's probably some constants.
based on like what the orbital speed would be for something that far away, I think they can kind of figure it out.
I know.
Yeah. But
It's
it's
just a
really
math
far
problem.
out though. Yeah, it's just a math problem. It's like Newtonian science, they don't have to understand all the deep stuff even probably. So.
But you said it was like an ice planet? Is that what you
That's what they believe. They
said
believe
in
it's
the-
an ice planet, similar to what Neptune and Uranus is.
Yeah.
But it's somewhere in that size. And because it's so far away, it's very, very cold, obviously. But yeah, it's an interesting thing.
Every time I think about ice planets, I always think about that shot in Interstellar when they're flying through and you think it's just a cloud and they hit the ice cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that shot. It's so good because you don't expect it. I watched it another time and I still didn't expect it, And I just, 'cause you forget that one little scene. You're like, oh, that was not just a cloud.
It's one of those cool things, but like, I still don't really
I don't know.
get it.
I don't understand exactly how that works.
Was the planet like not frozen at some point and then it got really cold all of a sudden?
Yeah,
the
clouds are in the
cloud?
sky and then just boom, freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
That'd be cool if that's how it was when it snowed for us. That the clouds were sort of solid ice.
So you'd stand on them.
Yeah,
like you
something.
always see in the pictures.
And if they were flying, that close to it, did they even know that shit was solid, or Were they like, oh shit, time to stay away from the clouds, guys?
I know.
What happened in the ship when they tip that? Because it's not like you just tip stuff in your ship when you're flying.
And in that shot, there's a lot of frozen cloud.
Yeah.
Did they go through frozen cloud?
But hold on. Here's the thing. They hit it and they technically broke it. They didn't really go through it, but
they nudge it. Yeah.
But dude, they went through a wormhole first, so this ship can handle.
No, it can, but it can't handle water.
Yeah.
It can't handle a solid object.
Yeah.
I mean, if that thing's frozen, it's.
But I mean, you could drive a car through like a thin ice.
Yeah, a hollow bubble of ice, but not a block.
Okay, not a solid block. You're right, but how thick do you think that cloud was? Maybe like
based on how much that ship reacted when it hit it,
wouldn't have been solid.
The ship reacts a lot though when it hits it. Like it goes clunk, and it legitimately gets knocked back. So based on that, I imagine if you drove like head first, you'd probably die.
Yeah. But it's funny. Yeah, I think. That was like probably a terrible misjudgment on their reentry plan.
Yeah, not knowing that there can be frozen clouds.
Yeah,
I know. Is that something
skimming by them and literally tipping them with their ships?
I know.
I wonder how they must have thought of all sorts of stuff. Like, how are we going to show these things are ice and maybe surprise them? And that's what they came up with was let's have the ship kind of
just nudge it. Yeah, just to sell this idea of an alien planet. Just like this is something different.
Yeah, which I think they did a good job with.
No, they did. I mean, that
cool. I enjoyed
that movie has some really awesome little moments.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you're saying when they go through the wormhole, like that is still like the best scenes in any movie in a while.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's wonderful.
I saw it in IMAX. I don't know if it was 3D. I don't think, but I saw it in IMAX and. Yeah, the screen was like wrapping around me.
Oh, nice. I forget where I saw it, but I saw it in theaters, but I don't know if it was IMAX.
Yeah.
I just remember it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was great.
It's fantastic.
It was a really fun scene.
I want to travel through wormholes.
So
you might be able to.
So they're going to live on another planet, and I kind of wanted to bring this up. Mars. Speaking of space, Mars.
Okay, Mars.
I represent the minority that thinks that Mars is probably not going to be the place we're going to colonize. And I have a new reason, best reason for it.
All right, get ready, world.
Yeah, and it's not one that I came up with myself, not at all. I saw it, came across it on YouTube this week. But basically, it's the gravity problem. Problem that Mars has, I think 0.6, 0.4, not sure, but somewhere in that zone of gravity of Earth. Yeah. And it causes. There's already just having astronauts in orbit. They have severe problems with the lack of gravity. It causes their bones to deteriorate very fast.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's even an issue just for space travel alone. Not an unsolvable one. Not when you're in space. We have artificial gravity. We they can exercise in space. We figure stuff out like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But going to Mars and living there, you're talking about there's no way for our bones to adapt. Well, maybe that's an overstatement.
Yeah,
maybe we can adapt, but I'm just like we don't necessarily.
But it's not healthy for our bodies.
We don't have a solution for it. We can't expect it to just adapt in one generation.
Sure.
Like we've got to do something ourselves about.
Yeah, that's actually. Yeah, I wonder if we would adapt because it wouldn't be like natural selection. It'd be a weird little situation. Like
I don't think evolution. We'd have to rely on a few generations.
Yeah, we'd have to rely on something more than adaptation. I think for such a dramatic change.
Yeah, we would have to like make houses with our Earth gravity,
which
something like that.
Which kind of brings me to my second point. Like I think actually it's probably more realistic for us to pursue space colonization, space station colonization, space vessel colonization, because of course we want to live on other
with
planets.
How many people or how many spacecrafts?
We could have networks of them and stuff. I think if we're living in space, we can live as close or as far away from stars as is most convenient for us, depending on what it is it provides for us. What we get from it. If we're solar powered at that point, who knows? I don't know if we're going to be doing next level fusion reactors or whatever else is out there by the time we're colonizing space, or if we'll just be. We have just like the best solar panels ever, alien solar panels basically or something.
I do. I mean, I agree because I think obviously space stations you can you have control because it's your creation. You know, like if we're going to go to Mars, we're taking something that already exists in its state, and then we're trying to really change the entire thing into something we want, rather than just building it from nothing up into something we want. I don't, I saw this interview. It was actually Stephen Colbert with an astronaut that's on the space station, and he's spending almost a year on the space station. This is the longest an American's ever spent in space.
Wow.
And it's a test, to see how humans can handle. And he talks about Mars and saying that this is kind of like helping information that's going to be, research that's going to be helpful for when we go to Mars.
Yeah.
Because I do think we're going to go to Mars.
Sure.
I agree with you. I don't think that Mars is necessarily the best place. But the one thing
but colonize it as the next level of humanity's like extension.
Exactly.
Whole nother decision.
Exactly. Yeah. Like mining it, totally fine. Working there, totally fine. Living different. He talks about, he jokingly, because he was asked, about bone density, because that was brought up, and he jokingly says, well, if you lived in space, you wouldn't necessarily need bones. He said your muscles, could kind of do it. You do the job.
That's a funny idea.
And it was a funny concept. Wow. It was interesting. So I wonder,
think of that.
So are these injuries, are you saying maybe if they're not fatal, there's a potential we could just live with this disability,
as long as other
so
things aren't horribly damaged,
Yeah.
because it seems like right now bone density is the main thing. I mean, radiation obviously is an issue in space as well, but bone density is like the big thing right now. But so he was obviously just kind of addressing that issue and just jokingly, like, so if you didn't die from losing bone density,
which I don't know if it causes that,
which I think you could probably get things from it. I would imagine,
but I don't know.
It's not normal for everybody, but I'm not sure it's 100%. So. It would be interesting because you'd be little blobby muscle beings in space.
Yeah.
On no gravity,
Well, I mean,
all jelly fishy.
We would still need some bones because there's tendons, and tendon is a muscle to the connection from a muscle to a bone. So there would need to be something, but
sure, yeah.
But it would be funny because other than gravity, there's almost no reason to have bones.
Well,
I mean,
and I'm also assuming if we're a spacefaring civilization, we're not like battling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if we're just like
we're definitely going to be
on another level.
We're more like jellyfish. At this point.
I think we'll just be kind of.
We can exist and be wonderful, but we can't really push. And
no more MMA. Unfortunately,
there's actually a great movie.
Although,
a whole new level of it. It's like slapping and like just like tentacling each other all day.
There's a super scientific movie that illustrates this. Have you guys seen Wall-E? Because
yes,
they're all fat, non-bone people.
I know.
Super scientific. I mean,
no, that movie is extremely accurate.
We're gonna grow pizza.
Oh man. I will say that one thing I found interesting about that. You haven't seen it yet, have you, Elliot?
No, I haven't.
Okay, this one.
But I know a lot about the movie.
This isn't gonna ruin nothing or anything. I thought it was really interesting that they showed the humans the way they did, and humans, were lazy, kind of like slobs, but they weren't bad.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really nice. It's like when they were, it was like they didn't realize what they were doing to themselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment that they had to kind of stand up for what's right, they tried, And I just thought that was kind of sweet.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
It was very Pixar of them, to address things in that kind of way.
And also, and it's when you finally see it like that, it's kind of like in the 90s when there were all those dystopian movies, which I still love and I think are fun because they are great for plots.
Sure.
Just like I love horror movies, but I don't want any of them to come true. But I think. We started to see some other versions of future movies that didn't just go straight off of the dystopian cliff.
Yeah.
And you could just immediately see this believable just sheen over it, like it was like, okay, I could see that now. And it makes you look at it a little differently. Yeah. I think that Pixar does. Yeah. When you see that, you're just kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah, I could kind of see it like that, especially when they put that whole, but they're not bad.
I mean, I think obviously humans aren't always great and stuff, but for the most part, people try to be okay.
Yeah, no, I think as a majority, we are. Yeah.
We obviously all kind of like agree on a few things, and then some people find loopholes, obviously, to kind of get around them. But there's most people kind of agree, just be decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So that was kind of nice. Like these people, like they were legitimately just fat. Because that's just how it is.
Yeah, they were just sitting for so long. They lost all their bones, and then they just became fat people. It's so funny.
I mean, the machines took care of them. Their purpose was
just to
exist.
brought them everywhere.
it was a weird little take. It was really.
I want an Asimo so you can go. I want one. It's my life goal. Is if the day I can have an Asimo follow me around, just pat me on the back when I'm doing stuff. Like, that was great.
Good job.
And then clean up,
gives you little sunshine stickers.
I could just throw a pancake on the ground. He just cleans it up. I'm just grinning.
Thank you, master. He just takes photos of them all. These are all 2,642 pancakes Elliot threw on the ground.
He has his own Instagram.
Yeah, but just your pancakes.
But see, what if he does it all on his own? Like, that would be pretty creepy. Like, wait, what are you doing, Asimo? He's just like, leave me alone.
Just waiting for your pancake. Ew, dude, that sort of sounds gross.
Waiting for your pancake. Don't ruin pancakes, Anto.
Hey, I'm just saying. It sounds weird.
Pancakes are fluffy and innocent.
Okay, so anyway, back to the scenario. I was it sort of hurts my head to think about all the crazy problems we're going to go through when we leave Earth. Or we can just fix Earth. Hooray. It's just the easiest thing. Why don't we just fucking fix Earth? Let's go solar power. Let's clean it up.
No, reason number one, spaceships.
Yeah.
I know. Don't ruin it.
Spaceships.
Trying to go to space, Anto.
I know.
You can go
We're trying to be a
virtually.
class A society or something. Whatever that is.
Yeah, what if it's class 3 or something, or class 1? I don't know which way it goes.
Dude, once people start buying water, we're fucked.
Dude, there's a lot.
I'm not going to get on the planet. I'm not going to get on the ship unless I take people hostage. But I just say we fix Earth. Not going to lie.
Okay. Well, I'll throw it out there.
Though.
Say we fix Earth anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say
we still go to space.
Yeah,
I agree, for fun, but not to live and colonize and profit. There's nothing to profit.
I had to throw that out there.
Space is full of profit.
No, there is profit out there.
We're gonna go mine that diamond planet.
Actually, there's a really interesting.
Dude, I'm down
for no, because diamonds are worthless. There's no profit.
We can make saw blades and things with diamonds.
Actually, there's an interesting Vsauce episode that's about assessing the value of things, and he goes over the actual Earth, how you would actually assess what a value of everything in the Earth would be. It's kind of weird because you're doing it. I mean, it's normally you think of value as or at least I do as a layman. It's kind of like dollars, or our currency versus other currency.
Sure.
And stuff. I think of it in relative kind of context, but he kind of brings it outside of that, how much things like asteroids are worth and how much.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know what the conclusion is, but he breaks it down. You know how Vsauce videos are.
Oh, sure, yeah. I wasn't sure if it was suggesting that worth was based on necessity for some part of life or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's Vsauce. He'll talk about those. He'll go off those different rails. When he's talking about it, so it makes it pretty interesting. But yeah.
I mean, obviously, I think there's a lot of worth in space. The reason there's stuff that on Earth that's gets so valuable, especially stuff that's practical, things we actually need,
like trees.
Like trees.
Well, actually, that's a good point. So, say we have a space station.
Yeah.
I know in a way it's almost obvious, but I just want to throw the question out there, what are we going to bring with us? Are we going to have birds with us? Are we going to have trees with us? Are we going to bring octopuses with us? Do you know what I mean? Are we only going to bring? Probably going to bring dogs with us.
I think
I don't know though.
Yeah,
what are we going to do?
It's interesting because obviously, when you right away, my mind creates what I imagine. And I would say trees would be there. I would say and dogs would be there, and people would be there.
Not cats.
And I know no cats. No.
Space
Sorry,
cats.
Robin.
Space cats. They're just floating in space.
You're not
just
gonna
spinning
make it.
fucking crazy. No, they actually power our space stations. Where you tie them
In the hamster balls.
Yeah, you let them spin.
Cats are the worst.
Okay, wait. I have an idea. I have an idea. What if we go into space? We live there for a little bit. Right, all the humans go up there in space. We live there for a little bit. We let Earth heal, and then we come back, and then we fuck it up again. Then we go back, and then you do it again.
There's an organization that I discovered today, and I wasn't looking for this. It just popped up, and it's actually a group of people who have signed, and they're part of this group, and they're for lowering the population on Earth by not procreating.
Okay.
And that's their whole thing is that they want
many
to.
people are on that?
non-violent, forceful method.
Who knows? This website was terrible that I saw. It was like so shitty.
But did it say a number?
Was it
It didn't say a number. It just had like a bunch of like really complex. It was not user friendly. Like you know, you have to like care.
I just wonder how many people signed up for that. Like,
Yeah,
was it like
it's not-
100,000
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
out of the 6 billion?
it was not enough people.
Not enough, whatever.
But it's interesting because you know that their whole concept was it's like they're deciding that you know the world needs less people,
Yeah.
and so they don't want to be part of this, the problem that they see,
Yeah.
and so they're like, we'll do their best. I mean, it's you know I appreciate that honestly. I mean, I think more people should consider not having children, obviously, because the less people on the planet Earth, the better it is for everybody who is there. You know, especially
Yeah.
once robots start working.
No, the question that I've heard thrown out there is like, would you, how many people do we put on this planet before we start deciding what kind of quality of life we think is low enough? You know what I mean? Because we can
That's very true.
populate this planet until it's a living hell.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
every person on Earth. But at what point do we draw a line and say we don't want the quality of life to get any worse for anybody? It doesn't get lower than this right
Yeah.
here. I don't know. You know. And
Yeah, it's a-
so that doesn't mean that somehow if you like whittle the population down that we at some point we all have the highest qualities of life you could imagine or something. It's not a scale like that, but there is a slope that we go down where it gets hard to manage.
And honestly,
population. That's
I
just the
don't
truth.
I think you know, especially if kind of AI and more importantly, like robotics, kind of replacing jobs of all sorts, kind of doing all the work. The more that actually comes true in the next, 100 years or whatever, I think the lower population, the better. Like you could legitimately have a low population on Earth where life was amazing for everybody,
For everyone.
Yeah,
I know.
because you'd have the shitty stuff be done by robots who are not happy or sad about doing shitty work.
I know, it's just a robot.
It's just a robot, and don't program emotion into it.
We talked about this in an earlier podcast.
Yeah. So exactly. Check back on that.
If you want to listen to this podcast, first check out our old podcast.
Yeah. Pause this video now and click the arrow too. No.
We're making fun of a YouTube subscription.
Yep. And we're moving our
Everyone
hands
does.
a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just think that, I mean, obviously I don't know how many people, but man, if it was just like, I could, millions still.
Yeah.
Of course.
When you're born, you have your own personal ASIMO issued to you. That is the world I envision.
Yep. And the ASIMO.
And then,
It has your
if
same-
you do anything wrong that you kill or something, or like...
Then your ASIMO is
then-
like, you piece of shit.
then you-
Life's so fucking good.
And then your ASIMO is programmed to kill you or something. Dude, that would be
Yep.
fucked up.
Oh.
It just,
Movie plot.
That would be an obedient population.
At the ASIMO that cares you and watch.
and then like people start hacking you because they hate it, and then they program like you stole like money
But-
from a bank, and then your ASIMO just starts going at you, and you're like, no, you have to prove your
But
innocence.
here, though, AI
So
is going to be more intelligent than us. So we're not even going to like judge humans. We're going to be like, robot, is this person guilty of a crime? And the robot's going to be like, yes. And you're like, what does he deserve? And the robot's like, deserves this. Just take him out. Sorry, bro. And we're going, and it's going to be like, it's going to be like in a whatever that fucking thing is, Hitchhiker's Guide, with that big robot where they just ask it. It's like they create a robot that answers questions 100% truthfully.
Oh, right.
Like with no inaccuracies. And everybody has 100% faith in this thing. That's how it's going to be. People are going to be like, like right now people have faith, but they, it's kind of silly because it's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
For a lot of people at least. In the future, if life's great and it's because of this AI system, everybody's gonna it's gonna be like a god that's worthy of praise at that point. And people are just gonna be like happy. They're gonna be in Eden.
They literally answer your prayers. You can be like
Yeah.
Cartman in that WoW episode where you're just like, poopy, poopy. And you're just like, that's all I gotta do.
It just takes your poop.
It's probably the only,
Goes
that's
down
like
the
one of
toilet.
like 5 words I would have.
Because the robot has all that for you.
Yeah, if I need to say more, I'd be like, robot, speak. Speak for me.
The robot's like, no, Elliot doesn't want to go. No. That'd be funny.
So stay on Earth and have that.
Yeah, exactly. Why go to space when we could have a abundant, beautiful life.
Well, then we
on
could even
Earth.
send robots out in space, and they could be mining, and they could be doing all that.
No,
cool
I'll tell you why we colonize space, because I think colonization of planets is temporary, and colonization of space kind of marks an eternal plan for,
I see what
for
you're saying.
human civilization. Yeah, for example, if all we can do is live on the surface of a planet, then we are bound by the lifetime of that planet. If we can move, that's also cool.
You know, one thing.
But if we can live outside of stars and hover around them, we can live around stars. You know,
Yeah.
and maybe near
So
planets,
crazy, I
near
know.
moons, something like that. And then we actually have like a timeline of, all right, when the sun does envelop the Earth for billion or whatever billion, I'm not
Yeah.
sure which years from now. That won't be a problem for us, which something tells me we'll have this problem kind of solved in the next 1,000 years. So that
I know.
it's not something we got to rush on, but
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take us billions of years. We're going to die out before
Some-
then.
some crazy-
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wonder if our real purpose as a species is to leave. Like, do you think it is?
Man was born on this planet. He was never meant to die here.
Back to Interstellar.
You know,
No, I really do.
I don't
I wonder-
really think that
I wonder
humans
if-
have a purpose beyond what we make for ourselves. And I think that so far, what we've shown in our track record is that we like to progress, you know? And
yeah,
it's like
for
that's
sure.
kind of what makes us human. You know, it's like animals don't really ever, you know, they're just happy with, or no, they're not necessarily happy, but they're content with being what they are, where humans really aren't. And so I think that because of that aspect of us, if we do, if it's possible, I think we'll do it.
I just think like how fast we're messing up the Earth.
Yeah.
It's almost driving us to do this stuff, you know, because the Earth, we keep cutting trees, we keep polluting, we keep doing all these oil spills into the ocean, and you know, messing up all types of life. It's honestly driving us towards, hey, let's get a plan B going. Like, if this fails, if Earth fails, quote unquote, we have to go somewhere. And I think by doing the damage, it's actually pushing us into almost like off the cliff, you know, to jump.
forcing
And-
us to go forward.
yeah, exactly.
I think that's also forcing our hands
some
here on
direction.
Earth as well, though. You know, I mean, space. I think we have Plan A, which is like fix Earth.
No, I think that's plan B.
No, I think Plan A is fix Earth, and Plan B is space.
We could have fixed it
colonization.
so long ago.
Yeah, but you know,
But
that's
it's-
more of a political. And
You have to
that's
wait for people
it's a more
to die.
complex issue. Yeah. We're in that
You know?
position where it's kind of like until it gets really, really bad.
I mean,
Majority of humanity won't. Obviously.
So then it goes back to
just look at what's happening.
Yeah, then it goes back to what Elliot proposed of what quality of life is so low that this is the cutting point.
Yeah,
you know?
where we finally say this is
Yeah.
where we start making drastic changes.
I think. I think
why do we
I
have
think
to
we're
go
kind
that
of
far?
already. Well, if you look at like, there's so many people right now are pushing for a lot of things that will help the Earth.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of push
Yeah.
for clean energies and things like that.
You hear about climate change a lot
Yeah, like it's definitely
on the internet, just like
unfortunately-
you hear about Bernie Sanders on the internet.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's in it's in the real world too.
Yeah, no, you hear it on TV too.
So, and I think obviously it just takes a long time because it's really hard to convince people when there's no gun being pointed at their head. You know, they're like, "This doesn't look bad to me," you know, and it's like, well, that's because it's all in the ocean. It's at the ocean floor, and it's like
really
up in the
complex.
sky, and it's
Yeah.
like,
It's
really
yeah, you can't
complicated.
see it, but you can calculate it, and you can measure it, and
No.
you can see what's happening if you actually look. But some people don't want to look. You know, I mean,
Out of sight, out of mind, you know?
yeah, it's like ignorance is bliss, all that kind of nonsense. It's like people say it, but it's sad that so many people live by it.
Yeah.
You know, like, because I mean, I'm sure it does feel good to not think that what you're doing is, you know,
Yeah, and I'm not trying to say I'm perfect, but
No.
I try to do my part as best I can. I always try to just, you know, put my recycle or, you know, piece of paper in the recycle bin and not the trash. And I try and like, you know, I don't know,
I feel like-
reduce, you know, bottles
I feel like
or
the
whatever
biggest
it is.
thing that can happen though, it has to be politically. Now that way we can change huge industries.
and I think
You know what
culturally is also, you know, is a big part of that. And I think culturally we are
goes along
changing,
with it. That goes along with
and
it.
I think that'll slowly make us politically change.
Yeah.
And look at company, you know, let's face it, Tesla, for example, the reason that they're kind of doing so, they're so known is because they're really kind of pushing into that new era, you know, into that kind of clean concept, along with like his other stuff that he does, like the solar and the space. But I mean,
I forgot to mention about 10 other companies that he does.
Yeah, he does all kinds. But so I'm just saying, like big people, famous people, well-known people who are well-known on the internet, but also off the internet. They're really starting to be vocal about it.
Yeah.
And these big companies are changing. And some of them by not by choice. You can tell like some of the big people like GM and Ford, they're slowly starting to implement things that are better. Mm-hmm. But they're like they're the senior citizens. They're the ones who like don't want to change.
They're so stubborn.
I mean, I don't necessarily look at companies like GM or car companies as like the problem.
No, and they're not, but they're a sign of cultural change.
They're just a piece of everything.
Yeah.
They're a lot of ingredients that contribute to these things.
Exactly. I mean, there's so many, like you're saying, so many things. Like our food is a huge problem.
Yeah.
Just how much we grow because there's so many of us in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's just blaming cars isn't necessarily the right thing, but it is a good sign seeing them change because it shows how we feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think environment is definitely the first problem that we should work on because without it, we won't be able to grow food all the time or it's not going to rain properly or I don't know, all these like weird things that are droughts and obviously the cows don't get to eat the grass and then the cows die and, so it all trickles down. So I think we can focus on the environment and then we should focus because then the next problem is going to be food. If it's not the environment, it's going to be food.
Sure.
And so I think we should just work on that first, but one step at a time, on the stuff I really want to see excel is obviously solar, everything's solar and like windows, how they have glass, the glasses on buildings can be solar.
Oh, like, sure.
That's going to be really good. And then, just cars, I guess. Just no more gas and...
Yeah, no more fossil fuels being
fossil
used.
fuels for sure.
Obviously, some things will be using fossil fuels for a longer time than cars. Ships and shit, like for big transportation, unfortunately. And they are big pollutants. But I do think, just clean energy for, at least for the average consumer.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of room for us to just refine that technology. So we should be using it kind of everywhere we can.
Yeah. Because honestly,
and we'll just learn a lot of new things as we go along.
Yeah, I don't think it's outlandish to believe that a house could power itself with solar that could also be used to power their car.
Yeah,
like eventually.
Exactly.
I mean, I know that solar, it's getting more and more efficient, and if you have because that'd be so nice having houses that are actually like somewhat self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Like you and your, obviously cars is a whole another topic with all the different types of stuff they're doing right now. So you might never actually own a car, but either way, they're to charge somewhere. And so I just think that honestly, the way it is right now, you have this one thing out in the middle of nowhere, burning all this stuff.
I know.
Turning these turbines and then shooting it all over the place.
Sending you electricity.
That big pile of trash that's floating in the ocean. Imagine if that same size was just solar panels floating in the ocean. How much energy could we have collected?
Solar panels on the trash.
Cover
it up.
Yeah,
that's so much.
Mistakes.
Just imagine for how long has that been around? 20, 30, 40 years. Like that just trash pile.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just been going. Just imagine if that was never there, and just from the beginning of it was just a solar panel and just kept growing.
You're asking me to imagine that humans think ahead. We think about like 5 minutes ahead.
Because it's not that expensive, my parents bought solar panels and they bought it from, Tesla.
Solar City?
Yeah, Solar City, yeah. And it's really not that expensive. You can lease them for, a few $1,000s, much less expensive than a car, and people can somehow afford new cars once or once a year not once a year. I'm sorry, 1 or 2 years. They can do it.
A car once a year, or once 2 years, or once.
And you're saying you can't just afford, like a $5,000 like solar panel, or just like.
Is that about how much it is to do?
If you rent it, there's like 2 mechanisms. You can either rent it. You can either rent it and or lease it rather, not rent it. You lease it, and then. Let's say you sell your house, you can actually pass it on to the next owner.
Oh, okay.
But then if they moved out, then the third person technically in line would have to re-up the lease.
Oh, okay.
So, and then obviously because you're leasing it, every time there's new technology, they'll actually replace it for free. So you always get the new
cool
stuff. So why wouldn't you do that? You know,
that is pretty awesome.
and we're still connected to the grid at my house. So if there's piles of snow sometimes, and obviously when there's 3 feet of snow on top of the solar panel, it's not going to collect energy. But all the other days that it's sunny out, you always collect energy.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about it? No. Oh, and things are doing it, constantly. Whether you're there, we're in Italy, we're at work, wherever we are, they're doing it, and it's just constantly collecting.
And also, I think another thing that's important is that like solar energy, it doesn't have to be the only thing. Like there's other clean energies out there. Like Washington State, for example, is like mostly using dams. Is hydrogen or hydro?
Hydroelectricity.
Yeah, hydroelectricity. It's like 73% or something of the electricity used in Washington.
It's really about combining it all. Yeah,
exactly. So it's like here in Southern California, they should solar panel the shit out of this
Obviously,
place.
Washington's using what's proper for it
because it's covering clouds all the time.
Yeah, it's never not sunny. It's there's so little sun that gets through. But over here it should just be 100% solar power.
Just boom. I mean, we have huge amounts of just terrible desert land that no one wants to live on. You drive from here to Vegas, you go past these stretches, and you look out, and it's like this one shitty ass
wasteland, dude.
With hundreds of acres.
It's called Death Valley.
Exactly. It's weird because you drive out there, you see windmills. You don't see really solar panels. However, I think one of the ideas with it is at least for now, and I know this stuff is getting better, but for now, like large fields of solar panels require you to clean them a lot.
Oh, sure.
Maintain them, and I think that's why you don't necessarily see lots of fields of them. But like, it's hard for me to imagine it's that much worse than the large fields of windmills. But I mean, I don't know. It's a technical thing.
No, that's true.
I guess I wouldn't.
And I'm all for windmills too.
Yeah,
I got nothing. No problem with those.
For sure.
I mean, if they're a good area, they can be.
I love going by a windmill, dude. They're so massive.
Okay, so
they're beautiful.
They're the most like utopian future-looking things that have ever been made.
They are so big. They're so cool.
They're much more intimidating when you see them in real life compared to.
That's really cool what you're saying about windmills because the giant size of them reminds me of like what we would have to be up in space. The International Space Station. I can't imagine it being because it would have to be.
Like scale, you're saying something huge.
Yeah, it'd have to be so big, something I've never seen before. I mean, I've seen big buildings before, but imagine something that many people, 100,000 people can live on? That's a lot. In space, it must be huge.
If you have hundreds of thousands of people on it, then it has to be big. I think you could
what do you think's a reasonable number then?
Like the size of a skyscraper, let's say.
But it's got to be flattened in like a circle. That's
no.
Well, one of the designs that I think we saw a video about where it kind of goes over the various designs. One of the at least easiest to reference.
Interstellar.
It was a Battlestar Galactica. They do this long tube. Yeah, I mean that one's also correct, but
I know what you're saying. They
have this long tube, and it's 1 kilometer big. And he did it was a PBS Spacetime video. That's right. Yeah, give a shout out to him. That's a cool video. Where he talks about he compares it. Halo, I think, has another one that's like kind of in the realm of possibility. But the Battlestar Galactica one, I hope I'm saying the right series. Yeah, Battlestar Galactica is one that we could actually build. It's a 1 kilometer in diameter tube. And it rotates and it gives us gravity, artificial gravity, and it doesn't. We don't have the side effects of like smaller systems have some like problems.
Yeah,
although they're not undoable, but making them smaller than that, you kind
like the one in 2001. A Space Odyssey is an example he uses as one that's too small.
Yeah, it has some issues.
So
Coriolis effect.
How many people could live on that? Do you think?
I don't think. I think
I've
it'd
never
probably
seen the
be
video.
thousands.
I think a few thousand.
A few thousand.
You're talking a kilometer. That's like a few blocks, right?
No, a kilometer is not even a mile.
No, but it's not a kilometer long. It's a kilometer diameter.
Yeah, the tube can be very long.
So
holy crap!
It's the diameter.
It's the diameter.
Because the tube is spinning. The whole tube is spinning, which is creating the gravity. Yeah.
Dude, that would just be insane to build because you can't rotate. I mean, right? Or wait, you would feel that rotation,
That's
right?
That's the point.
You just feel
rotate
gravity.
and
You
it
just
feels
feel
like
gravity.
artificial gravity. It feels like gravity.
Oh, so you wouldn't feel the rotation, you'd feel the gravity.
You'd feel the gravity.
Okay, so that's all it takes. It just takes 1 kilometer for us to not
I think that's what
anything
said,
under
right?
that, and we get like dizzy. You know what I'm trying to say?
a little bit.
It's
Yeah,
like, and
kinda
also
like
it's
that.
like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
kind of lean forward awkwardly, and if you
Yeah.
run one way around it compared to the other way, gravity's different.
Yeah, you feel the
That's
speed up and
strange.
slow
Yeah.
down a little too much, because you can like run against the
because you need it big
rotation.
enough that it's spinning quite fast.
You're like,
or,
I ran-
quite fast, but not many times per. You know what I'm saying? Like by your scale.
Yeah.
Like if you look at like a bike wheel, the outside is moving a lot faster than the inside.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And so you want it to be a little bit higher because you want to be you want to be able to spin less rotations per minute.
Yeah.
But get enough gravity.
Right. It's like somebody's updating their Facebook status up there. It's like, I ran 10 miles today. It's like, fuck you, Jen. Which way were you running? Were you running left or right? That's all I can imagine.
that's an idea for how we can, and we would have to build those in space. We would
Yeah.
go up into space
Yeah.
and build them right up there.
Dude, how long would that
expensive.
take?
We'd probably build a base on the moon, and we would try to figure out how to build.
So we
like,
would
stuff
we
out
would
of
need
the
to give
moon.
our what I'm imagining is we would need to give ourselves like 100 years to get to that, to build it completely.
I think-
and then like in 100 years we're going to leave, like we're starting building now. Is that, you think
Well,
I
that
think if it was desperate, we could probably do it faster.
Yeah, if we were in a desperate situation, that's one thing.
Well,
but
100 years.
Yeah, and I think we'll be pretty damn advanced by the time we decide, oh, hey, we're going to just like start living in space. Because I also think the same thing about Mars, by the way. Although it's very exciting for us to get to Mars, do things, just achieve all the science there is there, if you really sit back and think about it for a while, to have two separate like populations of humans, like one on Mars, one on here, is kind of a weird idea. Like, why would you decide to maybe go to one?
Yeah.
Why would you decide to leave your planet and leave everything to
And
go
honestly,
to another planet and vice versa, especially in the beginning? You want to go live on a tiny base, like you want to be. The idea sounds really cool. I mean, at first, if you just take the time to really think it through, like you really just want to leave everything on Earth, like just all the humanity, the things you like, the music,
it also
things.
raises like ethical questions,
mountain climbing, like whatever it is you do.
Would parents would it be okay for people to have kids? Because that's like a bullshit life to give a kid. To force a kid to live on Mars instead of
it's like we wanted to live on
bunkers.
Mars, so you're going to live in a bunker.
Yeah,
like, that's
exactly.
going to just be your life for the next
So strange,
and everyone's
yeah.
life while they attempt
with
to
a
just
population
slowly
of
populate it.
30.
Yeah, and it's like it's like
Wouldn't it become
poor kids from a
incest
cult
eventually?
almost.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah,
it's-
exactly.
You can evaluate. You can train and evaluate all the people you put on that ship and send them there, but you
Yeah.
can't train and evaluate any of the kids that they have. Like,
Exactly.
Like you have no control over what those kids happen to be.
Yeah. That's why I really do believe Mars will always just be a space port type thing, or just not even a space port, just a human presence.
Yeah.
Conquest.
Yeah, basically, it's like how
Scientifically and
Antarctica.
otherwise.
We don't go to Antarctica except for scientific reasons.
Right. We have a huge facility there. We'll probably have a facility on Mars.
But it'd be shitty life to live.
Yeah, maybe a scientist might be there sometimes, or maybe a tiny group, but they're doing their time, they're doing their work.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to be off in 6 months, 1 year, and
Or it could just
going
be
back to
entertainment, like one day
Yeah,
we just get to
it
go
could
to
be.
we just get to go
Because
to Mars.
if someone came to me and said like you want to go to Mars and it was like, well, this it's like doesn't take that long, it takes like a month maybe to get there and you get to spend time and then come back, I'd be like, yes, let's do it, let's go to Mars. But if someone's like, you want to go move to Mars and die on Mars
like forever,
no.
Yeah.
one-way trip.
No.
Yeah, you want to go to Mars and never come back.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's easy for us to just dream of like, well, imagine that it was populated like Earth and it really was another Earth. That would be a different situation, but to get it to that point, we have to be like motivated to want to do something like that.
Wow, but you know what's interesting though?
If it really was, if you could land on Mars and there was cities and economies and just cultures and all that stuff, that would be a totally different story. We have to create that ourselves, and we have to ask ourselves why. Why?
It'd be kind of cool though if we
However,
figured out
we did it here.
If we
you know?
figured out, what's the thing called where you do it
Terraforming?
Terraform.
Like if we just figured it out, it would be kind of cool to terraform Mars.
It would be.
not to live there because of gravity issue still.
Right.
But we could like if we just terraformed it and turned it into like a cool planet with like at least plant life
its
and
own
stuff.
life forms.
Yeah.
That evolved.
Then that'd be a kick-ass place to go visit.
It'd be really
Low gravity paradise land.
It'd be really badass is if we could actually move it a little bit closer to us.
So
not
to
like
travel so far.
not much that it would probably affect our like gravitational pull or something, but just like it's just we can move it, so then it would only be maybe like a day of travel. So you just like fall asleep, and you just travel for like literally 24 hours, and now you're on. I don't know. I keep imagining like Hong Kong or something. Like, oh shit, like
Hong Kong Mars.
Yeah, Hong Kong Mars.
I wonder how big it would be in our sky. Would it still be a dot? Like,
No,
Star Wars planet. Like,
I know.
Okay, if you would-
Star
Would it
Wars
finally be
background.
cool?
Yeah, would it look awesome? Be part of our moon, like a moon.
I say
Nice
it would be
red eye in the
half the
sky.
size of the moon, or maybe a quarter.
I like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm down.
How far would that
Do
be?
it.
How long does it take to get to the moon?
Days.
Like just days? Like maybe like let's just
I
call it
think
like a
the
week.
big part of the time it takes is that you kind of have to like slingshot a little bit around Earth.
Like would it be a week or would it be like 5 days?
I think it's like a week maybe, or when we last went. I think.
Yeah.
I really don't. Yeah, I don't know exactly. If we did it today, I think we would have a totally different kind of rocket than we did when the last time we went there.
Yeah.
But it's not very long.
Okay, so let's say it's a week, and then we bring in Mars. It looks, I don't know, 1/4 of it. So it would just take about a month to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go to Mars if it was a month away, and I could.
If there's stuff to do on the plane, dude,
Visit to Mars.
fuck. Imagine you're just stuck in like another airplane
Oh no, you got something to
seat.
sleep. I think.
You're stuck on an airplane seat like in JetBlue and United and every other thing I
For a
take.
month.
For a
Yeah.
month. No, I got middle seat. No.
God no, dude, that's terrible, man.
Dude.
No, and then when you land on Mars, the facility is the same size. You just sit down in a little
Oh,
Like,
facility.
welcome to
God.
Mars.
Yeah.
Oh my God, imagine the doors. That'd be so cool, dude. Welcome to Mars.
You'd be indoors the whole time, and if you were outdoor, you'd be in a spacesuit.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that'd be cool.
If I look like the Martian suit, that's a cool looking suit.
I
Yeah.
know.
I want to wear that suit and run around on Mars.
It'd be like Total Recall.
Mm-hmm. And then your face explodes or something. It
Yeah.
swells up all big.
But it would be cool.
Because it's low pressure or something, right, on Mars?
I don't know. No, I think I
I mean,
don't
it
know
is
what-
lower pressure on Mars.
Yeah, but I don't know where they came up with
I think-
that scene from.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I don't think that's exactly what happens in low pressure. I don't think your face just bubbles up and explodes.
I mean,
I don't think it was as scientifically accurate as the movies of today.
You sure? I don't know. It seemed pretty realistic.
what would you do on Mars? Like, what
I
would you
think-
want to do?
Like a big gymnasium. I'd be parkouring
With like
all over the place.
low gravity or something?
Because it's like half the gravity or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I would rather that on the moon though. Just that's the thing for me. I want to go to the moon more than I want to go to Mars. I think
Yeah.
because the moon. I mean,
Damn, that's the first. Now all of a sudden, yeah, you just kind of like threw a loop at me there. I'm like, well, yeah, for whatever reason you'd want to go to Mars, you would do this. The experience would actually be the same as going to the moon, except for that obviously it's a different place. But because it's
Yeah.
completely artificially facilitated, you just go to a facility. You take a ship there.
Yeah.
You're in a suit on both places.
yeah, absolutely. And that'd be key. Those shots of like the astronauts on the moon, like driving their little buggy around.
I know.
I want to do that on the moon.
Dude, that'd be so fun. Oh my God, dude, that would take so long to build.
Just build a huge Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
Disneyland needs to buy a huge portion of the moon and build a big theme park.
Yeah, we'll give them permission to put their logo on the moon so
Yeah.
everyone can see
They
it.
can turn the moon into a Death Star.
Owned by Disney.
Yeah,
okay
we can
with that.
brand it Disney. Just take it. It's fine. It's inevitable anyway. And and they'll just do great things for us.
Yeah, and just build a cool facility, man.
Okay, but the real question is how much would you pay to get there?
Well,
Because Disney's already a fuck ton of money, dude.
I know,
It's like
Disneyland.
$1,000 a pass or something.
no, it's not that much.
How much is it?
For a park hopper, I think it's like 190 or something. It might be $200 for non-California
No, for like a
residents.
pass.
Oh,
Oh, a season
I don't know.
pass.
Yeah,
Oh, a
yeah. Season pass is 1,000, right?
A season pass, I think it just went for a premium season pass. I think it just went to about 900.
Yeah.
It's up there. When I bought one a couple years ago, it was like 600, and the one before was like 450 or something.
Dude, no, I know a lot of people are just not going to go. But man,
Yeah.
would I spend some money to go into the moon? I'm not going to lie.
I
If
would
it was
spend a decent
reasonable,
chunk
if it
of
was
it.
reasonable, like I would do $1,000,
Moon tourism.
maybe
does
even a
sound
couple thousand.
sound like a possibility.
Yeah, I think I would attempt to save money.
It it depends on how long too. You know, I wouldn't want to just go for like a minute and spend like $2,000.
No, if they're gonna take you to the moon, it would probably be like you're gonna stay there for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to hit a goddamn golf ball.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I want to do.
Okay, but but imagine
like that
if
one
you
picture or something. I don't know if that really happened. I doubt
No, it did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
he brought a club.
No,
that's
did.
Yes, he did.
That's
It
so
wasn't on the first mission though. It was on one of the second or
that's
third
funny.
ones.
So there was no potential hazard with doing such a thing.
No, nah.
Yeah, I guess maybe they just decontaminate it or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, they brought like whole they probably decontaminated.
Yeah, because I know they're.
Then again, the moon's a little different because everything just dies on the moon.
Yeah, but no, actually, when the astronauts came, they put them in quarantine zones because they didn't know if they brought back like some diseases or bacteria or anything. So they actually kept them, I think, like for a few weeks, and they just kept them in like a bubble. They're like, "Look, you can't move. We don't know what you have. You're gonna die. Like
you can't move."
Yeah, I mean, they kept them in a quarantine house. Yeah. Or whatever it was.
Yeah, but you know they were like in like a tiny little capsule for a few weeks. So they're probably just like, yeah, this is really.
I know. Ugh.
I
feel.
Gravity.
Oh man! Every time I was thinking about that because there's like the first mission there was 3 astronauts who went up, you know, and 2 of them went down to the moon.
Yeah.
That one poor guy, dude.
Yeah, I know.
He just sat in the ship, and the ship just rotated, around the moon in orbit.
Dude.
And so there was like a point where like he was like the most alone human being ever.
Just on the other side of the moon, just like in the black.
Neil Armstrong and
so insane.
What's his face? I know his name.
Just doing his mission, you know.
And they're all rocketing on the moon, being all cool, being famous.
Jumping in slow motion.
Buzz Aldrin, that's his name. I don't even know the third guy's name. I feel bad.
Yeah.
He's sacrificed. And no one remembers him.
Obama.
Probably.
His name was Obama.
All right, guys. I think that's enough of us spaceballing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys want to say bye to the internet?
Bye.
Goodbye.
That was lame.